Good evening, you're watching The Buck Stops Here and I'm Barkha Dutt. On the program this evening, a 40-year-old woman has spent the last 12 years of her life on a fast, not eating and being force-fed through a drip that runs through her nose. She is, of course, protesting against a law that she believes is draconian. And yet, Irom Sharmila, the face of protests against the Armed Forces Special Powers Act in Manipur, instead of being invited to the dialogue table, is now being accused under the law for an attempt to commit suicide. On The Buck Stops Here today, we'll be asking whether the government responds only to violent protests. Think of the invitations for dialogue that would be going Sharmila's way if she were growing up railway tracks, for instance. On the program today, we'll also look at the complex debate around the Armed Forces Special Powers Act as we ask whether in Gandhi's land Satyagraha is being conflated with suicide. But first, the story of Irom Sharmila, brought to Delhi today to make a court appearance and charged with an attempt to suicide. Alok Pandey has the story.
I love life as a human being with respect. I never attempt to commit suicide. I just use this very non-violent means as a follower of Gandhiji's principle.
Irom Sharmila, the Iron Lady of Manipur, on a fast unto death for almost 13 years against the Armed Forces Special Powers Act in Manipur. On Monday, Irom was charged by a Delhi court with attempt to suicide during her fast at Jantar Mantar in 2006. In the court, the judge asked her, "The accusation against you is that you want to take your life. The court has found a prima facie case against you." In a moving submission, Irom replied, "I love and respect life. I want the right to live as a human being. Mine is a non-violent protest to get the government to meet my demands." Irom is a one-woman battle against the controversial Armed Forces Special Powers Act that has been in place in Manipur since 1980. Sharmila started her fast unto death against the act in 2000, after the Assam Rifles killed 10 people in Manipur's capital, Imphal.
AFSPA to be repealed because it's a symbol of terrorism, symbol of hatred and oppression.
The Armed Forces Special Powers Act gives sweeping powers to the army, like an army officer can open fire or use force even to causing death. Army men can search premises and arrest a suspect without a warrant. Men in uniform can stop, search, seize suspected vehicles or vessels. The act also gives army men immunity against prosecution. No legal proceeding shall be instituted except with the previous sanction of the central government against any officer in respect of anything done or purported to be done in exercise of the powers conferred by this act. For years there have been demands for the repeal of the act.
The government will remain adamant for the time being.
But the army has so far maintained that its men need legal cover to operate in disturbed areas.
Army is sent in. Once the police has failed, the paramilitary forces, the central police organizations have all failed. Now the police, under sections 45 and 196 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, they have protection when they launch such operations. Do you want the army to operate without that bare minimum legal protection?
The central government had appointed the Jeevan Reddy Commission to review the Armed Forces Special Powers Act in 2004 after massive protests over the killing of a Manipuri woman, Manorama Devi, by the army. The commission recommended that the act should be repealed or replaced by a humane act. The commission submitted its report in 2005. It's gathering dust since. Irom Sharmila's decade-long fight is a stark commentary on how the state turns deaf to silent, non-violent protests. Must the government only respond to violence? It's been close to 13 years since Irom had her last meal. She refused to do so till the Armed Forces Special Powers Act is repealed. But the state, it seems, has forgotten her. Irom's silence must be heard. For close to 13 years now, the government has fed a liquid diet to Irom Sharmila through a drip. Sharmila herself has said that she will not give up on a hunger strike till the government repeals the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Now, after all these years, the big question is, will the government finally listen to the Iron Lady from Manipur? In New Delhi with camera person Sanjoy Das, Alok Pandey, NDTV.
Now, you may or may not agree with the cause that Irom Sharmila represents. The debate around the Armed Forces Special Powers Act triggers very strong opinions on both sides of the trenches, so to speak. But nobody that one has ever spoken to has ever questioned the remarkable and quiet courage and dignity shown by Irom Sharmila. As we've been saying, her protests have always been peaceful. Isn't the right to a peaceful protest a democratic right? Why then is Sharmila being charged with an attempt to commit suicide, something she pleaded not guilty to in court in Delhi today, saying that she loved life? Earlier today, as Sharmila was flown to Delhi just for this court appearance, still being force-fed through a drip that runs through her nose, I spoke with Sharmila and asked her whether she ever wants to just live a normal life or whether her whole life has now become about the pressure and this cause and the expectations of her people. Sharmila, you have been brought to Delhi today because you are being accused of attempted suicide. And you told the court that despite your 12-year hunger strike against the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, it is not that you're trying to kill yourself, you love life. What do you love about life? Because many people see you as the world's, breaking a world record for the number of years you've been on this hunger strike. So what still keeps you going? What do you love about life?
About love, no, life with reason. Without reasonable situation in a society, we need struggle.
Yes.
To make a difference from bad to good. This is the problem what I face now. I love life as a human being with respect, with self-help.
So you don't accept that you were trying to commit suicide?
Never. I never attempt to commit suicide. I just use this very non-violent means as a follower of Gandhiji's principle, as he was the father of the nation, is the father of the nation. But in practical, in real life, there is no such response from the concerned authority. They seem discriminate us like step-children. This is the problem.
Now you say you love life. Yes. You don't want to commit suicide. You're following Gandhiji.
Yeah.
But there's no response. Do you feel that if you were violent instead of non-violent, they would have responded?
Violent means I am violent. What do you mean?
No, I mean that you say there's no response to non-violence. So sometimes do you sometimes feel I'll give up? Because for 12 years you've been going on, no?
It will take time.
Yes.
For a very big cause.
Very big cause, yes.
For the betterment of our society. I always feel my mortal life is sure to die one day. Should be remarkable. I mean, if my death will be a cause for the betterment of our society, it is a wonderful fulfilled life. From such influence of conscience, I was
You're saying that even if your death is a fulfillment for a larger cause, it would be a wonderful thing. That's what you just said. Tell me that your struggle has been against AFSPA, the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. There are people who will say to you, as they have, that there is still militancy in Manipur. There are still bomb blasts, as there were on Independence Day last year. There are still extortions. There are still 200 plus militant-related incidents in 2012. So what would you say to government people and army people who say that, Sharmila, we respect you, but there is still militancy in Manipur?
But militancy, I mean, which you call insurgency.
Yes.
If I were an insurgent,
yes,
I should use the non-violent means to cause no harm to others. Only the effect will be the changes from bad to good. I'm in terms of comments on insurgency, I just want to be always in the neutral.
Yes. So you condemn the use of violence in insurgency. You condemn violence. Your belief is non-violent. Yes.
Yes.
So do you feel that the government, if the government were to start a dialogue, you would be willing to take part in that dialogue? Has anyone approached you for talks?
If I think in that very sense, if I think I am incapable of that very intervention, I will not interfere. I just want to live as a simple peace lover in our society.
You have devoted your life, in a way, the last 12 years now more, to this cause. In many ways, it has meant the end of other parts of your life. You know, you don't get to live a normal personal life. You have become a symbol. You know, women or men at your age, there were articles written that you didn't even have the freedom to fall in love with a man because the whole world, your people are watching you. There's pressure on you to be larger than life. So do you sometimes miss an ordinary life? Do you sometimes miss being able to just live a normal woman's life?
What I just anticipate from them is to look on me as a mundane being.
A modern being.
Mundane, I mean a social being.
Yes.
Modern life.
Yes.
In a simple sense. What I feel is they shouldn't criticize about my attitude. Just they need they should give solidarity to me, seeing only my good side, because they also have bad sides as a a human being who has two sides of good and bad in character.
Yes.
And so my judgment or my destiny, my own choice, my life should depend upon my judgment.
Yes.
I am the master of my destiny. I am no one's servant or master. I am simply a creation of God.
And you don't sometimes feel like, forget the cause, I just want to live a normal life, I'm tired. Do you ever feel tired?
Tired or strengthened? I can't detect, I can't find out. Just I envy normal life.
Yes.
So my priority is getting success in my struggle by getting that very solidarity from my people in time.
Well, I think that even those who do not agree with your cause, or whether they agree, they all admire your courage. Thank you so much, Sharmila, for talking to us. Thank you. And now to our debate on the buck stops here this evening. In Gandhi's land, is satyagraha being conflated with suicide? More to the point, if we all agree, and we do, that Sharmila's protests have always been peaceful, then why should somebody who's always been protesting peacefully now be booked under the law and charged with an attempt to suicide? If Sharmila had been blowing up railway tracks, for example, like some groups, would the government have paid her more attention and invited her for talks? Now, of course, we acknowledge that the cause that she is protesting against all these years is a complex one, a hotly debated one, the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. But irrespective of where you stand on the debate, we're asking the question, and it's a question that we need to pay some thought to. Does a state only respond when there's violence? In Gandhi's land, are non-violent protests being ignored? And is it time to take another look at the Armed Forces Special Powers Act? Let's introduce our panel this evening. We're joined on the program tonight by Lieutenant General K.M. Seth. He served as former governor of both Tripura and Chhattisgarh. With us in the studio, Major General G.G. Dwivedi. He's, of course, commanded a division in Manipur, apart from many other roles that he's performed in the army. We're also joined tonight by Gopal Subramaniam, former Solicitor General, but also, of course, a member of the Justice Verma panel. And this is a panel that spoke about how sexual violence against women can sometimes be linked to the misuse of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act in conflict zones. And with us in the studio, preeminent commentator on the Northeast, and also a member of the Justice Reddy panel on the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, Sanjoy Hazarika. General Seth, I'd like to start with you. I do understand that the Armed Forces Special Powers Act is something that people in the military and the soldiers feel very strongly about, and there has been that resistance to repealing it or amending it expressed very strongly. But first, just your response as one human being to another. When you see this 40-year-old woman, a drip through her nose, being force-fed, peacefully protesting for more than a decade, I mean, should she really be paraded before a court and asked to plead guilty to an attempt to commit suicide? It all seems a bit absurd, doesn't it, irrespective of where you weigh in on the larger debate around AFSPA?
Yes, I would go along with you totally that I respect Sharmila. She is doing a wonderful job, but unfortunately, the cause with which she has put her life at stake is a very complex one, as you already know and everybody knows. For the government to respond to this non-violent method of her protest, as far as her calling at Delhi for trial under IPC 309, I personally am not inclined to go along with it. It's a matter sub judice, but I do agree with her that she is not committing suicide. She has adopted a method of agitation to draw attention to her cause. And for that, I salute her, I respect her, and I admire her.